So I was just in the house and I was making the kiddos lunch. And then after lunch, they asked if they could do a smoothie challenge with their friends who know how to use the blender. And I'm like, yeah, cool. That sounds great. You're gonna clean up the kitchen, right? You're gonna do that thing. And they're like, yes, of course, we'll absolutely do it. Awesome, cool. I'm folding laundry. I walk into the kitchen and they're eating all of these smoothies, drinking smoothies, although some of them had the consistency that it looked like you actually needed a spoon to eat them. So it was weird for sure. Yeah, and my entire kitchen was completely destroyed. Like completely destroyed. There's like sugar. I didn't even know. Do you put sugar in your smoothies? Because they did. And there's just sugar all over my counters. It's on my floor. And I had two options at that point. I could clean it up or I could come out here and film. And so I'm here doing the thing. That has nothing whatsoever to do with today's pour. It's just welcome to my life. And I'm going to tell you about today's pour in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 16 of 365 days of soap. Read part 2. Yeah. And today we are continuing on with the Labyrinth soaps. The Soaprentice is, specifically, and she is making Hoggle. I love Hoggle. He is such a cool character for sure. It's very interesting. I've got so many different YouTube people that I follow across all ranges of, you know, interests. And I have had in at least 3 videos just this week alone, people talking about Joseph Campbell's like hero archetype and the hero's journey. And I find it interesting that we're doing Labyrinth, and also that's the content that's sort of coming up because Sarah definitely has her own very cool hero's journey within the Joseph Campbell, world and archetype and everything as well. And Hoggle is like her sidekick, and a very interesting one at that. And so I was super glad when the Soaprentice decided that she wanted to put Hoggle in the line, because again, I love him. And I'm really excited to actually show you this pour. I just did a quick edit on it and still need to go do the voiceover for all of it. So let's go do that together now, and we can talk about the cool couple things that I saw while I was doing a fast edit. Okay, so we are starting Hoggle, and I'm super excited for this one because Hoggle is a really cool character. And so, as I just said, I did a really fast edit on this to kind of get everything in to make it make sense, so it wasn't too terribly long. And I saw some very interesting pieces, including this part right here. So we've got soap dough in that beaker in the lower left corner. We have a soap dough that's been coated in micas to look like little gems or treasures. And also she cut up that pinkish stuff down there. That looks like mountain pour. So I think she chopped up some mountain pour to do that. It's definitely not salt. That would be some very chunky salt. So this would be a different video entirely if we were doing that. And she's really wanting to, looks like, capture, I think probably based on these colors, kind of the wrinkly, crinkly aspect of Hoggle with all of his folds and, skin patterns, as well as his love for trinkets and treasures. And so I think that's pretty cool. And the scent that she's using for this is fig and rosemary jam. I don't know why she decided on this one. Because, I mean, first off, fig and rosemary jam that suggests foodie. Was Hoggle into food? Or was he just into treasure? I don't remember anyone ever eating at all in Labyrinth. Did anyone ever eat? What about right before the You Remind Me of the Babe song? Were people eating in that great hall with Jareth? Interesting. I don't remember. So maybe it has to be something else. Like maybe rosemary is kind of like an in-your-face, not offensive smell, but very straightforward. Like, oh yeah, that's rosemary. Like you don't mistake it. And you kind of also don't mistake Hoggle. Hoggle is Hoggle. And, you know, whatever. So I am curious to learn why she chose this particular one. Sometimes you just choose scents because you like the way it smells. I mean, I do that all the time. That's like the majority of my scent selections, really. But she's been so good with the first two so far that I'm thinking it has to be something else, right? I'm thinking. Yeah, no, I think it might be something else. But I don't know. Anyway, so yes, the Fig and Rosemary Jam is from Sierra Candles. We are testing Sierra Candles throughout this series, as well as the one that I am doing. And so far, so good. The scents have been delightful. This Fig and Rosemary Jam does smell really great. It has a little bit of a sweetness to it, but it's mostly very cold and bright, like rosemary. And so that's awesome. And the first two that we did, now that's not chunkiness from the scent, because I actually don't think she's even put the scent in. Those are the melt and pour. That's the melt and pour that she has put in there, the chunks. So nothing weird is going on with the soap batter, but actually I'd forgotten that she'd put that in until I saw her mixing it up. And for half a second, I thought that there was something going on with the soap batter, but nope, everything's good. She's got chunky chunkies in there. And looks like she has coffee in the brown portion as well. So this will be a nice little exfoliating bar too. That's awesome. Let's go check out her pour. Okay, and on to the pour of this. And that is actually a red clay that she's working with there. So that's awesome. I realize that I almost never show you clays of any other kind other than kaolin and, well, you know, activated charcoal. Not a clay, but properties are very similar as far as what it does with thickening and bar hardening and all of the cool things that come along with clay. But I'm usually always doing kaolin and or activated charcoal. So, you know, I'm glad that we got a video in here of a different type of clay. You can totally use clay to your benefit when you are coloring your soaps naturally, because they can do. I mean, obviously not all of these are colored naturally. She does have micas in her reds and her oranges and her browns there. You can do all of that naturally. Just, we like micas. Micas are fun. So we do that thing. And I'm interested to see how she does this pour, because I did see the cut again, and I just did a really fast edit on this. So I don't exactly know what her process is for this. And so I am learning right along with you. And okay, so we're going to put a base of the coffee exfoliant down, and not even like a full base. So I think she's going to do some cool swirls. I love swirls. I love Hoggle. This is actually very exciting. Now, this is like a variation of like a thin lines pour. You can also get really cool modified versions of like a clamshell with something like this too. It's one of my favorite ways to actually put soap batter into soap. So I appreciate her doing that for sure. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty against that brown there. That's so pretty. The brown coat sort of pushed over when that's delightful. I like it. Yeah, no, this, I don't know. Hoggle is such a cool character. Like, he's just, he's very interesting because, you know, I was talking earlier about the hero's journey or whatever, and Sarah being on a hero's journey, and how Labyrinth almost perfectly fits the archetype and like the 12 stages of the hero's journey, like the whole movie in and of itself. But Hoggle sort of experiences his own hero's journey, right? Like, because he's just this guy, not going to get involved, got roped into whatever, and he becomes heroic throughout all of it, and he, you know, saves Sarah and all of the things. So he definitely has his own little interesting arc in the hero's journey, which is cool. And I find him to be a more interesting character actually than Sarah, because I feel like he is more developed. He develops, his journey is more formative than I think Sarah's is. I don't know. I've never really super liked Sarah. She's just really kind of struck me as just kind of a selfish, bratty kid. And maybe that was the entire intention. Like, literally, maybe that was it. But, you know, her being like some kind of age, she's like 16, right? She's like a teenager, you know, coming in and the first, you know, 30 seconds of the movie or a few minutes of the movie, she's coming in and whining about how it's not fair that I have to take care of Toby. Like, oh my God. Can you calm down? Can your parents have a night off? Come on. No? Whatever. But yeah, so point is, I find Hoggle to be wildly more interesting, and I enjoyed following his story throughout the Labyrinth, probably more so than Sarah. And Sarah's scenes were always better when she had like a sidekick along with her, like Hoggle or Ludo. Loved Ludo. Ludo's so good. Did the Soaprentice do Ludo? I wonder. I'm thinking about all of the soaps that I saw. I don't think she did Ludo. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out in all of these videos for sure. This is a very interesting pour. It's just a very messy pour with lots of different layers and, like, I mean, not messy, like, she's actually not making messes, but it's just things are sort of being specifically and intentionally layered in. They're being thoughtfully layered in, but to what end, I'm not 100% sure. So I'm fascinated by the entire process, because we had the layer of brown and then we did the swirls and then she put in some red and then more of the swirl and then some. This is cool. I really am looking forward to seeing the cut of this bar and what it ultimately ends up looking like with all of these different layers, as well as what I'd like to talk to her about what her ultimate goal was, because that would be amazing too to find out. But I am going to have to put this on pause right now because I do hear a kidlet crying. I'll be back. Okay, and now I am back a couple hours later, actually. Poor Kidlet, Soap Clay Kidlet number 1. She was trying to draw something, and she couldn't figure out the eyes on her character. And so, you know, I'm not a good artist, but I sat there with her for a couple hours, and we drew some stuff. So that was fun. And now I have a guinea pig in my lap, which is another weird side effect of all of that. And this has been a weird video across the board, I guess, is the point I am trying to make. And getting the audio laid down for this one has taken a while, but I got to spend some awesome time with my kidlet drawing some pictures. So now she's happy and has the best eyes on her character ever. So, yay! Not because I did it. She did it. I can't draw. But yes, so all of the rest of this is just really coming into the mold in, again, a kind of haphazard type fashion. But knowing the Soaprentice, it's probably not without form. So I'm interested to see, well, all of the rest, really, because this is just, I love all of these colors. They're so, I think, perfectly Hoggle, and they remind me of everything about Hoggle, the, you know, all of the folds in his skin and kind of his big nose and even his clothing to a point. But then she has, you know, like the little trinkets that she sort of put into the bar in different places throughout the pour. So I'm interested to see what that looks like when they're all cut, and if, you know, all of the bars have some trinkets or just some of them, or yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to check that out for sure. And she is not done yet, because you did notice that the one thing that was in her first initial shot was that beaker full of soap dough that had been wrapped in mica. Yep, see, there you go. Let's see. Oh, see, like, she did have some form with this. Yes. Okay. Oh, so, you know what, guys? Sorry, I'm actually watching this for the literal first time, and I should be, you know, talking about Labyrinth or talking about... But I'm just... It's always so pleasing watching other people make soap, and I can find myself sort of going into trance mode, especially when soap tops are getting decorated, because that's my favorite part, for sure. And yeah, all of these little soap dough balls will be put on the top. Now, I'm imagining that's meant to be like treasure and trinkets as well, but also it may be for a different purpose, and I'm just missing something like key from Labyrinth. And, you know, if that's so, the Soaprentice will definitely tell us, because she loves that movie more than anything in the world. And, you know, I've seen that movie a whole lot. I don't know. But it really is a pretty... Oh, okay, she's going to do that. Wow. All right. Okay. I can get behind that. That's beautiful. It's like a trail. That's very pretty. I love that. But now it's sort of reminding me of like the rocks that you step on in the Bog of Eternal Stench, right? So now I'm a little bit more confused. Is there ever a trail that Hoggle had to follow for some reason? Am I... Outside of the Bog of Eternal Stench, the rocks that Ludo raised? Was he even there for that? Was Hoggle there for that? He was there for that. Huh. Oh my goodness, I'm very confused with all of this. So Soaprentice, yeah, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful, but what are they meant to like symbolize in the pour? Is this a gem thing, like a treasures and a trinkets thing, or is this something that I'm completely just not picking up on at all? Like, it's probably the most obvious thing in the world, and I'm just being kind of... I don't know. I'm not going to call myself stupid, because I'm not. I'm super smart. I just am missing this if it's a reference other than like some jewels or something. Regardless of what it's meant to symbolize, it's really, really beautiful, and I look forward to seeing this cut. This will be put into the oven for C-pop and gel, because that's what we do. We like the C-pop and the gel. I'm not worried about the little balls on top, because they will not melt. The ones in the middle might, but it also might make it look really cool anyway. So yes, let's get this in the oven, C-pop gel, and, you know, move on to the cut so we can see what this all looks like inside. Yeah, this is exciting. Okay, and on to the cuts. And this is such a shiny, smooth bar of soap. I love this so much. Like the exfoliation and the dirt and everything. Well, the coffee. It's not dirt, but you know, whatever. Still having to use the old cutter because I broke the new cutter because I'm a disaster. And, oh, did you see cutting through that soap dough ball thing on the top? It's kind of cool. Yeah, I like that. And there's a little gem thingy there. That's cute. Like little treasures inside. That's a really pretty bar of soap. Look, you got your little treasures. That's very cute. I love that. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, that's all gorgeous. Look at that. That's a lovely bar of soap. I love the color difference and the dark browns that are coming through in different places, and how it's very cool, swoopy. And look, it's a little treasure in every single soap. That's very cool. The scent on this one is also really strong, really delightful after saponification. That fig and rosemary jam, which is good because I'm actually using that for one of my soaps that's coming up in a soap series that I'm working on. So I'm excited for that. We actually both wanted that one. And so that's cool. And I love this Hoggle bar. It's completely perfect. Way to go, Soaprentice. That's another really big win in the whole Labyrinth series. And I'm totally here for that. And yeah, no, that's day 16. Hoggle, cool sidekick, also a bit of a hero. Okay, and there it is, Hoggle. I love how she put like the treasures inside of the soap too. So some of them get, found in different bars, and also the little thing on the top, beautiful. The scent from Sierra Candles, that performed beautifully. So we actually have not had any problems with the Sierra Candles scents so far. So I love that. And I think Georgia's selection for this particular bar was just right on the nose. I love it. And if you are interested in any of these Labyrinth soaps, you can totally find them at soapandclay.com once all of the Labyrinth videos are done, for sure. Up until then, go check out the website for other things that you might want that may or may not be in stock, because it's been kind of a crazy couple months. Yes. If you're interested in seeing what else we do for the rest of the 365 days of soap, or just in the immediate future for the rest of the Labyrinth series, subscribe. Do that thing. That'd be awesome. For those of you who are subscribed, hey, thank you for doing that thing. You're awesome. I'm so glad that you joined me for another round of 365 days of soap. I'm out of here for today, but I'll see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.